The story begins with a huge mansion engulfed in flames. On the grand staircase sits Grace, still wearing her wedding dress, staring blankly ahead after barely escaping her new family. Police and paramedics rush in, but Grace collapses from the trauma and is taken to the hospital. Inside the ambulance, her condition suddenly worsens. As the paramedics try to stabilize her, memories of the previous night return. Her wedding night became a nightmare. Grace discovers that her new in-laws belong to an ancient secret society, and instead of welcoming her, they turn the night into a deadly survival ritual. They intend to use Grace as part of their ceremony, but she refuses to surrender. She fights to survive until sunrise, when the society's own rules finally turn against them. Grace wakes up handcuffed to a hospital bed. A senior officer tells her that 2 people were found inside the burned mansion, and the blood on her dress doesn't belong to her. Now she's under investigation for murder and arson. And the door opens. Her older sister, Faith, walks in. They haven't spoken for 7 years, and the reunion is immediately tense. Grace demands to know why Faith never came looking for her. Faith fires back that Grace was the one who left first. But there's a bigger question: what actually happened inside that mansion? Grace finally tells her everything. Her husband turned against her, the family came after her, and somehow she survived. Faith listens, but the story is so unbelievable that she struggles to accept it. Far away, billionaire Chester watches the news from his luxury penthouse. One phone call is enough to influence an international conflict, showing just how much power he controls. Then his attorney arrives with shocking news. Grace's in-laws are gone, but Grace survived. Chester immediately contacts the other leaders of the secret society. Their highest position is now vacant, and powerful factions around the world begin preparing to claim it. Soon, Chester's twins, Titus and Ursula, enter his study and demand control of his empire. Chester refuses, telling them they must earn their power. That answer changes everything. The twins turn against their own father, eliminating him and proving that their ambition has no limits. Back at the hospital, Grace is being escorted through a hallway when an armed operative suddenly attacks the officer. Grace becomes the next target, but Faith grabs her and runs. They reach a dead end. The attacker closes in, but a sudden blast takes him out. Before the sisters can understand what happened, Chester's attorney appears and releases a chemical smoke canister. Grace and Faith quickly lose consciousness. When they wake up, they're tied to chairs inside a dark underground chamber. Around them sit the leaders of the secret society. The attorney opens an ancient ledger and reveals the truth. This organization has secretly controlled powerful parts of the world for generations. According to their own rules, Grace survived their ritual, meaning she is now entitled to their highest position. Grace wants none of it. She only wants to leave with Faith. But the attorney gives her a choice she can't ignore: play one final survival game. For powerful families will hunt the sisters until sunrise. Grace refuses. Then Faith is threatened. With her sister's safety on the line, Grace has no choice but to accept. The sisters are taken to a huge wooded estate and released into the darkness. Worse, their wrists are chained together. Before they can even make a plan, a drone appears overhead and starts attacking them. They race into the trees and hide behind a massive oak. Their old argument returns. Grace accuses Faith of being selfish, while Faith reminds her that Grace was once so focused on wealth and status that she never saw the danger around her. Suddenly, Titus attacks. He grabs Grace, but Faith jumps in. Using their shared chain, the sisters manage to knock him back and escape. They reach an open area, only to come under fire from a Spanish mercenary. They hide behind a greenhouse and spot a large gas tank. Faith gets an idea. She opens the valve, filling the area with a thick cloud that blocks the attacker's view. But another assassin suddenly charges through the haze. Then a stray shot hits the gas tank. A massive blast tears through the area, throwing Grace across the ground and leaving her badly injured. Faith drags her into an abandoned maintenance room and tries to help. As she treats Grace's injury, the sisters finally talk honestly about the years they spent apart. Grace admits she struggled after leaving home, working difficult jobs just to survive. She also reveals that she wanted Faith at her wedding, but couldn't find her. For the first time, Faith's anger begins to fade. But their reunion is interrupted by heavy footsteps outside. The sword-wielding assassin has found them. The sisters escape into an industrial workshop and discover a machine that can cut through their chain. They manage to break free just before the attacker bursts inside. A desperate fight follows, with both sisters working together. Eventually, they trap the attacker inside an industrial machine and escape. Grace takes his radio and tries to contact the police, but they don't realize Ursula has already taken control of the emergency communications. She gives them false directions toward the main gates, leading them straight into another trap. As Grace and Faith approach the exit, the leader of the Chinese faction steps into their path. She offers Grace a deal: marry her son, and both sisters can live. For a moment, the offer sounds like their only chance. But Grace soon realizes the real cost. She would have to become part of the same system that sacrifices innocent people to protect its power. Grace refuses. Suddenly, the Spanish mercenary appears again and begins attacking them. The Chinese leader moves to protect Grace, but Grace pushes her aside, causing the woman's own weapon to strike the mercenary. The secret society has one terrifying rule: harming an ally carries an immediate consequence. The Chinese leader and her son are suddenly taken out by the society's deadly curse. Faith is furious with Grace for rejecting the deal. Grace finally explains that she cannot spend the rest of her life hurting innocent people just to stay alive. But Faith brings up the real reason she's angry. When Grace left home, she also left Faith behind. Faith reveals that she was only 15 when Grace walked away and left her in foster care. Grace tries to explain that she was young and didn't know how to handle the situation. But Faith's pain has been building for years. Both sisters finally realize that neither of them truly understood what the other had gone through. Before they can make peace, they reach the main gates. Waiting for them are Titus and Ursula. Faith surprises Titus from behind while Grace takes Ursula's weapon. For a moment, they have the advantage. Then a vehicle crashes through the perimeter, creating chaos. Titus uses the distraction to overpower Faith, while Ursula attacks Grace and leaves her badly injured with a heavy metal spike. Faith immediately tackles Ursula, giving Grace a chance to escape. The sisters reach a battered utility vehicle and drive away into the darkness. They hide inside a secure building, where Grace tries to treat her injury. But their old argument starts again. Exhausted and frustrated, Grace says that leaving Faith behind was the right decision. The words completely break Faith. Without saying anything, she walks away into the night. Grace soon realizes how badly her words hurt her sister. She steps outside to find Faith, but another attacker suddenly appears. The woman sprays Grace with a chemical irritant, temporarily affecting both of their vision. They struggle in the darkness until Grace grabs a heavy object and manages to escape. Elsewhere, Faith is captured by Titus. He realizes she can be used to bring Grace out of hiding. The mansion's intercom suddenly comes alive. Titus warns Grace that if she doesn't surrender, Faith will be used as leverage. Hearing her sister in danger, Grace knows she can't run anymore. She grabs a shotgun and heads straight toward the mansion. This time, Grace isn't fighting just to survive. She's fighting because she refuses to lose her sister again. Grace grabs a shotgun and storms into the mansion, determined to find Faith. She forces her way through the guards until she reaches the grand hall. Titus appears behind reinforced glass, holding the injured Faith as a hostage. Seeing her sister in danger, Grace drops her weapon and offers herself in exchange for Faith's safety. Titus agrees. As the sisters are reunited, they finally apologize for everything that happened between them. But their brief moment of peace doesn't last. Ursula secretly approaches Grace and admits that Titus has become completely unstable. She offers to help Grace escape. Before they can make a plan, Titus enters and turns against Ursula, removing her from the situation. Grace is then taken deep beneath the mansion, where the secret society prepares its final ceremony. An ancient ledger is brought out, and the society officially declares Grace and Titus husband and wife. Titus proudly puts on the mysterious ring, but Grace has been waiting for this moment. She suddenly grabs a ceremonial dagger and turns against Titus. Faith helps her send him into the massive pit beneath the chamber. Grace then takes the ring and faces the remaining members of the society. The attorney warns her that the ring carries a terrible rule. When the first sunlight reaches the chamber, whoever possesses it will face the final consequence. Grace looks at the pit, then makes a surprising decision. She throws the ring into the mass of bodies below. The powerful members of the society immediately lose control. Every one of them wants the ring, and they rush into the pit searching for it. Grace and Faith watch as the people who spent their lives controlling others turn against each other for one final chance at power. Then sunlight reaches the chamber. For one silent moment, everything stops. The ring's curse activates, and the entire pit erupts in a massive blast. When the smoke finally clears, Grace and Faith are still standing together. The secret society that controlled so much of the world is finally gone. The sisters look at each other, realizing that despite everything they went through, they never truly stopped being family. They walk away from the burning estate together, leaving the nightmare behind and finally stepping into a new life. Then, this movie comes to an end. If you like this movie, so subscribe my channel for next videos.